Hello everybody, this is Steve and welcome to the first Insert Title screencast. You can find Insert Title at the web at www.inserttitleblog.com. Today I'm going to walk you through the steps necessary to install and set up Quicksilver, an incredibly powerful productivity application for Mac OS X. Future screencasts will cover additional more advanced features of the application, but for today I will begin with a brief demonstration of how Quicksilver works, followed by how to install the program, and finish with basic setup. First, I'm going to start with the demonstration. Now Quicksilver is set to automatically start on login, so it should already be running in the background, but to invoke it, all you do is strike the predetermined hotkeys. Now you can change these later, but for now mine are set to Command Space. So hitting Command Space will bring up Quicksilver. As you can see, it's a two-paned interface, the first pane being the item that you would like to interact with, and the second pane being the action that you would like to perform on that item. So if I want to launch Camino, for instance, all I do is type CAM, Quicksilver finds Camino, and hitting Enter will launch it. Now this works for all applications across your Mac, so if you want to load Address Book, type AD, Enter, opens Address Book. Now this doesn't just work for applications either, it can work for folders as well. So if I want to launch my Documents folder, typing DOC, Quicksilver finds Documents, and hitting Enter will open the Documents folder. I can also even open files. For instance, if I want to find, say, this research file on my desktop, I invoke Quicksilver with Command Space, type RES, it found research immediately, and hitting Enter will open it. Now that's Quicksilver's most basic functionality, a launcher of applications, files, and folders. It's worth noting briefly that Quicksilver also learns from your habits, so if you type a certain string of letters for a certain program several times in a row, it will learn that and bring that program up first whenever you type that string of actions in the future. I'm going to go over more advanced features of Quicksilver in later screencasts, but for now, let's just start with how to install it. Okay, so I just deleted Quicksilver from my machine so we can start fresh. So the old-fashioned way, let's launch your web browser and go to the Quicksilver website, which is found at quicksilver.blacktree.com. As you can see, it's a pretty simple page, but the download link is found near the bottom right here. So clicking that will automatically download the disk image. Navigate to where it was downloaded to and double click it. Now to install, as with all applications on Mac OS X, all you do is drag it to your Applications folder. We'll eject the disk image. And now let's launch it. So here's the welcome screen. It's worth reading through all this when you're installing this on your own, but we're going to breeze through it for the sake of brevity. Here's a list of recommended plugins. Obviously, as Quicksilver recommends, I would also recommend that you install them all. Plugins add action functionality and item functionality. So installing the Address Book module plugin will allow you to search address book contacts. Installing the Mail plugin will allow email actions, etc., etc. So let's go through all of these. Feel free to read them on your own and install those. And hit continue. That was just warning us that there were other plugins that needed to be installed before one of those would work, and so I said go ahead and install those. So here's where we can customize the hotkey. It's automatically set to Alt space, or I'm sorry, Control space, but I like to set it to Command space. So to do that, all you do, as I just did, is click in the middle here and type the keys that you want. You can type it to anything. I find Command Space to be the easiest. To make that work, though, of course, you'll have to remap Spotlight, which you can do through System Preferences. We're going to want the catalog to update every 10 minutes. The more often, the better. Let's continue. Again, it's worth reading through all this, but we're gonna just breeze through it. So here's Quicksilver. The first thing you'll notice is that it's a little different than the way mine looked, but that is found in the preferences. So to get to the Quicksilver preferences, all you do is type Command, comma, and it'll bring up this nice preference pane. So let's start with General. This is the application. We obviously want it to start at logon. We want to warn before quitting. We want to enable advanced features. We'll relaunch later. And we don't want the icon in the dock because our docks are cluttered enough. Now I like to leave the icon in the menu bar just to be able to access some preferences and things from the menu bar, but feel free to take that out or add it as you wish. Now we're going to want to check for updates daily so that we can get the most recent version. We want to download and install updates in the background so it doesn't hassle you. As far as appearance goes, I prefer bezel. That's the one that we originally saw, and here's how it looks. So I think that's just a little bit better. I like to highlight switch to text mode if no match is found. Now this means that if you start typing a string of text and it doesn't find a match within its catalog, it will automatically convert that string to text so that you can actually use it to type. And then you could send that as an email or append it to a text document, but we'll go over that stuff later. But for now, let's just select that. This allows you to customize your email attachment. So if you attach a file and send it out as an email via Quicksilver, you can customize the message. So check this out, or something similar, whatever you want to do with that. iTunes, I like to show the artwork. This is all kind of superfluous at this point, but triggers we'll go over in a later screencast. The catalog, you're going to want to check everything, but first we're going to install the plugins, and I'll tell you why later. Now here's the plugins pane. These are the ones that we already have installed down the list here. As you remember, we installed those as the recommended plugins. But to get to the rest, you click All Plugins, and it shows up all the available plugins for Quicksilver. That's a pretty long list. Now I recommend that you install every one, and here's why. One, they're not large files, so they're not going to take up a lot of space. And two, they add functionality. So if you read on the web about something new you can do with Quicksilver, you won't have to go and dig through this plugin interface to find the correct plugin and install it because it'll already be installed. So it just allows a little bit more flexibility. Now it takes a little bit of time to go through and click these, so I'm going to take a brief break and install them all, and I'll check back in a sec. Okay, as you can see, I've gone through and installed all the plugins. I want to highlight several that you double check that you have installed because I find that I use them very often. One is the calculator module, which allows basic calculations to be performed in Quicksilver. As you can see here, this is the info pane, which you can open and close using this eye that will tell you about each plugin. Camino, because I use Camino, so this allows you to search bookmarks. If you use something other than Camino, Firefox, or Safari, I would recommend finding your web browser in this list and installing that as well. The dictionary module is also very helpful, as well as disk image support. It allows you to search for disk images that you have installed. A lot of these are very important, but one of the most important is text manipulation actions, which we will go over in a later screencast, but it allows you to append text to a text file. So if you keep lists on your desktop, such as to-do lists, like I have in mine, over here, and you find out something you want to do, you don't have to navigate to your desktop and open up the file and type it in and save it. You can just invoke Quicksilver and append a short string of text to the text file immediately. So now we're going to go click on Catalog, and that is going to bring us to the catalog. Now the catalog is what Quicksilver indexes to search when you type in letters. So we're going to want to have all of these checked because you're going to be wanting to search through all these. So go through here, and anything that's not checked, I want you to check. And the reason that we did not do this initially is because adding in new plugins will sometimes add catalog entries, and those will be unchecked. So we avoided an unnecessary step. Now some of them won't check, like this Voodoo Pad, because I don't have Voodoo Pad installed, so don't get too stressed out about that. So we're going to be going down here, and now they're all checked. Okay, so now we have every single plugin installed, we have every catalog checked, and we have Quicksilver all set up to run as best as possible. There was one more thing I wanted to go over, and that was the command, the show other matches. Instead of having it delayed, I would put that as immediately. So that way you don't have to wait for the other matches box to pop up, and that just improves the performance of Quicksilver. So our preferences are all done. We've both installed and set up Quicksilver, and I showed you the basic functionality. So that does it for this week's screencast. Next week I am going to go over some more advanced options. I'm going to show you how to copy files, move files around your machine with a greater degree of accuracy, and how to append text to documents. So I hope you enjoyed this. As a brief reminder, once again, please visit my blog at www.inserttitleblog.com.